What to do when a guy acts distant and pulls away. What's up, everyone? It's Sabrina from anumo.com, and today I'm going to tell you exactly why guys pull away and what to do about it so that you bring him back and get everything back on track. Okay, I know how frustrating this is. It's a sickening feeling. Like you're dating this guy, maybe you're in a long-term relationship with him, maybe you've just casually started seeing each other, and all of a sudden he's acting distant and pulling away. He might come right out and tell you, like, look, I need some space right now, and just take space. He might just take space without warning, and you have no idea what's going on. Like, you have no idea. Like, am I still in a relationship? Am I not in a relationship? Like, I'm not hearing from him. Is he losing interest? Like, what's going on? I'm gonna explain everything to you. I'm gonna break it all down, so make sure you watch this video all the way until the end. Real quick, if you like this video and find it helpful, please do me a favor and tap that like button. It takes less than a second and it's such a quick, such an easy way to help me out. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos. Also, if you want a better understanding of why men pull away and withdraw. I mean, I'm gonna give you a great understanding in this video, but if you wanna really dive in there and understand that, as well as why men can be afraid of commitment, as well as why men take so long to text back, how to know if he's serious about you, how to know if he wants to commit to you, and so much more, then definitely check out our He's Not That Complicated system. You can download it right now or when you're done with this video at understandhim.com. Also, if you wanna chat with me one-on-one, you have a question, we can email or we can talk on the phone, we can Zoom, totally up to you. You can set something up at anumo.com/coaching. First, let's talk about some of the reasons why a guy could start to pull away or act distant. The first is he was never that interested to begin with. Yes, we're starting with everyone's nightmare scenario here. It's very possible that he's pulling away because he's either losing interest or maybe he was never that interested to begin with. Now, this is where it can feel confusing because in the beginning, most guys will typically bring their A game. I mean, at the beginning, he's just gathering data about you. That's what dating is. Dating is to gather data about the other person to know if you guys are compatible and if this would make sense as a long-term partnership. So in the beginning, he's coming on full force, and it's easy to believe that it's because he really likes you. Like, he's super into you. He's blown away by you. You know, we've seen it in the movies on TV 100 times. Love at first sight. You see each other, your eyes lock, and everything is just perfect and you're soulmates. So it's easy to think that that's why he's coming on so strong, or maybe that's what you want to think. But that's just kind of how guys are when they're pursuing a woman. So he's coming on strong, but then maybe he realizes, you know, like, this isn't such a match. We're not so compatible. Our values aren't so aligned. And so then he realizes, you know, I don't think this is gonna work out. Maybe you guys aren't even dating yet, so he doesn't know if it warrants like a breakup conversation. So maybe he just starts pulling away. Maybe he's not sure if he wants to just end things. So that's why he's being distant. It's very hard to be 100% sure of your decisions, you know? Think about any decision you've made in your life. Were you ever 100% sure? It's possible he's like 80% sure, oh, I think this probably isn't gonna work out. I think I should end things. But then something happens and he's like, oh, but I don't know, she's so great and we had a really nice time the other day. So that's probably why you're picking up on that distant energy from him, because he's just trying to understand how he feels. A lot of the times, we can project our own feelings onto someone else, which I touched on a little earlier. And sometimes we feel like we've been blindsided because a guy is suddenly pulling away when it seemed like he was so into us, but it's possible that he was just never that into it to begin with. We just kind of wanted to think that he was. And a lot of the times it's because, you know, he was pulling out all the stops in the beginning, then he stopped. But the way that a guy behaves in the beginning just isn't a reflection of his feelings. That's just him trying to get you to like him, not necessarily him demonstrating how much he likes you. So the point is, it's very possible in the beginning he was drawn to you, he was attracted to you, he had feelings for you, he was interested in you, but he wasn't really interested enough. And that's why things just kind of fizzled out. Okay, number two, next reason why he might be pulling away, he wants you and it has nothing to do with you. And the good news here is this is the most likely scenario. We talk a lot about this on A New Mode, on this channel, on all of our content, our newsletter, our website, videos, our books, everything. We'll talk about it again. When a man is feeling emotionally overwhelmed, he will want to retreat and deal with it on his own. Men don't like to be seen as weak. And if he is overwhelmed by something in his life, it could be something material, it could be financial problems, it could be struggles at work, it could be internal, it could be he's feeling depressed, he's feeling anxious, whatever, he's having family issues. He won't want to be seen because men were raised to be men, to be strong, you know? They don't want to be seen as weak, especially not by a woman that he cares about, that he, you know, is trying to impress. Maybe you don't agree with it. Maybe you think that it's silly. Maybe you feel even more attracted to him when he's vulnerable with you. And there are some guys who are more comfortable with vulnerability than others. But most men prefer to just retreat and deal with things on their own internally outside of the relationship and not bring that into the relationship. This becomes a relationship problem when a woman can't cope with that, when she can't handle him, taking space from her, being distant, dealing with things on his own. She thinks that, he should talk to her, he should confide in her. Then she makes an issue out of it, and now it becomes a relationship problem when it wasn't to begin with. What looks like him pulling away is really just him being on a one-track mission. And that is how the male mind typically works. And think about it from an evolutionary standpoint. Most men, I don't want to get myself into trouble here. Most men are not as good at multitasking as women. If we think about it from an evolutionary standpoint, once upon a time, before Costco and Trader Joe's, a man had to go out into the wilderness to hunt for food for his family. And he needed to be completely focused on the task at hand, on hunting. If he got distracted and started doing other things, then he could get eaten by a lion. There were serious risks here. So that is just how the male mind is wired to work. So if he has a problem that he's dealing with, that's going to be his sole focus. He can't also, put his focus into other areas and into the relationship and into making you happy and all this other stuff. It's really him just retreating to focus on that one thing. Eric actually described it really well when he and I were talking through this whole idea of men pulling away. And he described it as men experiencing a shutdown mode when they're upset. Basically, this is why they go silent. And it's actually out of consideration for you. He doesn't want to snap at you or lash out at you and do something that would cause you to be upset. So he does the opposite. He goes completely silent, which makes you upset for different reasons. But the intention sometimes behind it is good. It is, I have a lot to deal with. I can't cope right now, so I'm just going to turn inwards so I don't cause more problems in my life. At the core of it, men need to feel like winners. And if you read our book on Amazon, it's called 10 Things Every Woman Needs to Know About Men. I'll link that down below. We have a whole chapter on this, on the fact that men need to feel like winners. Men need to feel like they're winning in the world. If he feels like he's losing or like a loser, he's not going to want to be seen. That's what it comes down to. Essentially, a man's world revolves around whether he feels like he's winning or he's losing. And I swear, you guys, this was probably the biggest game changer for me when it came to my quest to understand men and why they operate the way they do. If I had to distill it down to one concept, it would be the idea that men need to feel like winners. And if he doesn't feel like a winner, he is just going to shut down and just not be able to function in a relationship. A lot of women we have such a hard time with this because a woman can always make space for a relationship. Pretty much. Most women. We can always make space. Doesn't matter if we're having emotional difficulties, financial difficulties, if we're fighting with our family, whatever. If a great guy comes along, we can make space. Men are not like that. When a man is emotionally burdened, overwhelmed, he goes back into that one-track mission mindset and he just can't make space. And that really is one of the biggest core differences between men and women when it comes to relationships. All right, number 3. He wants you, but you're doing something that's causing him to withdraw and pull away. Now, this can be a variety of things. It could be that he is feeling pressured by you. It could be that you're trying to rush the relationship and it's just at a pace that doesn't feel comfortable for him. It could be that you are acting like you're already in a relationship when maybe you guys aren't in a relationship. It could be that you're in a bad place in your life and you're taking it out on him and you're kind of using him and using the relationship as an emotional dumping ground. And if any of these things happen, he might start to, reflexively pull away almost as a knee-jerk reaction because that's what people do when we feel like someone's trying to get something out of us. Pressuring a guy and moving too fast can sometimes stem from being emotionally needy. Being needy is basically the biggest man repeller. Everyone is just put off by that kind of energy. And unfortunately, women sometimes get a little caught up in this need to I need to know what we are. I need to define the relationship. I need him to say he loves me. I need to know what the next step is. And because of that, we put pressure on the relationship, not meaning to. And then he kind of crumbles under that pressure and then pulls away. So here's what the needy mindset looks like. It could be that you are pressuring him to give you a certain level of commitment, to give you the girlfriend title, because deep down you feel unworthy and you feel like, if he doesn't call me his girlfriend, then I'm unworthy. So I need him to call me his girlfriend. Otherwise, I'm going to live in this state of feeling unworthy. You see what I mean? It's a shift. It's not about, there's a difference between a woman who is confident, knows her worth, and is I don't want to put anything else into this relationship unless I know we're on the same page. I need to know if I'm on the same page as you. Because she's confident, because she values herself, and she doesn't want to waste her time. That's very different than a woman who's coming from a place of, I need you to give me this title, to say these words to me, otherwise I will not be okay. There's a huge difference in those mindsets. Again, it's not what you say. It's the intention behind what you say that makes a difference. And we can pick up on this from the youngest of ages when somebody has an agenda and wants something out of you. I'll give you an example with my 5-year-old child. So he is just an extremely picky eater all around, right? And I really try to limit his sugar consumption, as every mom does with their children. And it's much harder than it seems. You know, before I became a mom, I was like, oh yeah, never gonna give them processed sugar. And anyway, I try to limit how much juice he has, right? And then lately I've been, giving him some supplements to help with digestion and help with like different things. And they're like tasteless, whatever. I just have to like put it in the juice, and I need him to drink the juice. So normally I say no when he asks for, too many cups of juice. But lately I've been like, okay, here, do you want this juice? Here, drink it. Make sure you drink the whole thing. And he has become very suspicious of me. He's like, why do you want me to drink it? Why do you want me to drink that whole thing? Why? Why are you giving this to me? Why? Even though it's something that he really wants, when I all of a sudden became like, a little bit pushy about it, when I had an agenda, I'm like, I need you to drink this whole thing. I need you to get all your probiotics in there. Then he became suspicious of me. So I really had to dial it back. But the point is, like, he's 5, and I mean, I don't know, I'm trying to be kind of subtle about it. I went with a smile. I'm just like, here you go, have some juice. And he's like, something's not right about this. Point is, we can pick up on things. We know if somebody has an agenda and somebody wants something out of us. Now, one way to know if you are in the needy mindset is look at your life and look at what you have going on. If hearing from him is the highlight of your life, if that basically is your only source of happiness when he texts you back, then you need to adjust your priorities and you need to fill your bucket with a lot more things. You have to have more going on in your life than a relationship. Shedding the needy mindset will just help your life overall. I mean, neediness doesn't only manifest in a relationship. We could be needy when we go out on job interviews. We could be needy, with career opportunities. We could be needy with our social media and wanting validation. So it's really important to get that mindset under control. And the way to do it is to get to a place where you can be okay no matter how people are behaving towards you or reacting to you. Just to be in a place where I'm okay. My moods are not going to fluctuate based on how the world responds to me. You have to get to a place where you stand on solid ground within yourself. Okay, now let's talk about some of the biggest mistakes that you can do if a guy is withdrawing. Don't obsess. Don't take it personally. Don't chase after him. Don't do any grand romantic gestures to try to win him back. If he wants space, just give him space. It's literally as simple as that. It seems counterintuitive. No one wants to do that because why would you let something go when really you want to cleave to it so tightly? But just think about it, like intellectually. Like if he's telling you he needs something or showing you that he needs it by taking the space, and if you infringe upon that and you bust through that boundary, first of all, that's just disrespectful. And it shows that, okay, I'm prioritizing myself and my needs above what you need. Yeah, you're telling me that you need space, but I need you to be here with me because that's what I need and that's more important. So I'm just going to badger you until you do that. Think about that. It doesn't feel good to you when somebody infringes on what you need. I mean, when you just want to be left alone and people are coming at you like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Talk to me. Nobody likes that. You really need to be mindful of your energy and stop expending your energy on analyzing him and trying to understand, like, why is he doing this? What went wrong? Like, well, I don't understand. How can I get him back? Put your focus on anything else, literally anything else, because it's not serving you to be in that obsessive place. This is a really important life skill. And if you can do this, it will change your life. So really listen, let it sink in, and try to implement it in your life. Anytime you have a thought, right? Or notice the thought. Okay, so in this case, let's say like, he's pulling away. Why is he doing this? Is he losing interest? Oh my gosh, he's gonna dump me. I can't believe it. And nothing ever works out for me. Nothing ever works out the way I want it to. Just stop, notice the thought. Okay, so you're thinking, he's gonna leave me. Nothing ever works out for me. Now, how does that thought feel to you? I'm gonna say it doesn't feel good. Makes you feel stressed, makes you feel anxious, makes you feel worried. So don't engage with that thought. Recognize that this thought doesn't serve me in any positive way. So I'm not gonna go down that line of thinking, and just redirect your thoughts elsewhere. At first, it's gonna take a bunch of redirections, but eventually it will just become natural. And you'll notice anytime a thought that doesn't serve you, that just makes you feel bad, enters your psyche, you're just gonna say, oh no, I know that this doesn't serve me. I know that this just makes me feel bad. This just makes me feel bad about myself. I'm not gonna engage with that thought, and push it to the side. I've been doing this lately because I noticed I really was recently spiraling to a negative place. And I was able to catch myself. And every day when I would catch myself thinking, oh, this is so hard. And why is this like this? And why is this like this? Stop myself and say, what is this doing for me? How is this serving me? How is this enhancing my life? Is it? No, it's not. So I'm done with this thought. Goodbye. Not going to engage with you anymore. I'm going to put my mind on some more positive things that are going to take me where I want to go. So number one, back off, give him space. The more you chase him, the more he'll want to run. Remember that. Just let it be. And so while you are backing off and giving him this space, you're going to do number two, which is focus on your own happiness. Don't feed into this negative thinking. Work on feeling okay within yourself. Work on your own inner okayness. You don't need a guy to respond to you in a certain way to feel okay. The choice is yours. It really is. It doesn't feel like it, but I'm telling you, if you could take ownership of your thoughts, you take ownership of your life. And then things change. They really do. You can feed into negativity or you can be happy. You can't have both. Focus on finding happiness and fulfillment in your life on your own outside of a relationship. Men want a happy woman. Do you want to know the number one thing that men want in a woman, actually? The number one thing is men want a woman who is just easy to be around. That doesn't mean that you never have a bad day, that you never have a complaint. That's not what it means. It means that even when you do have those complaints, you're able to express yourself in a way that doesn't make him feel like he's your emotional dumping ground. That doesn't make him feel like, okay, she's gonna suck me into her whirlpool of drama and negativity. You can be vulnerable and upset about things in a way that makes him want to be there for you, as opposed to in a way that makes him feel like, oh, here we go again. So work on that. Work on being someone who is just enjoyable to be around. Number 3, don't try to solve his problems for him. As I mentioned earlier, guys will typically retreat because they are dealing with difficulties in their life. The last thing he wants is you trying to solve things for him. This will just make him feel worse. It will just make him feel more of a loser, and that will only work against you. Because like we said, men need to feel like winners. That's the core driving force of a man, is this desire to feel like he's winning. Even though your intentions are pure, if you just come at him and offer up solutions, he's just gonna feel resentful towards you. And it's just gonna make the problems even worse. Men need to feel competent. He needs to feel like he could deal with whatever comes up in life. And all you need to do is just support him in that. Just have this feeling of, yeah, I know you'll be able to figure this out. You always figure things out. You'll be fine. When you encroach upon him and you try to mother him or nurse him back to life, that's not the message you send. The message you send is, I think you're an incompetent loser and I need to come in here and save you. I don't think that you're manly enough to deal with your issues. So I'm going to solve your issues for you. When he's under stress, just give him space and let him figure it out on his own. Do not take ownership of his issues, because that's not your job, it's not your role, and it's only gonna make things worse. If you get angry and frustrated at him for him taking space and doing what he needs to do, then you're gonna become another source of stress in his life, and he's just gonna retreat even further. So those are the main reasons men withdraw and what to do about it. One more thing I wanna add, because this came up a lot when I posted about this topic on my TikTok, Sabrina Alexis A&M. A lot of women were like, well, okay, you said give him space. I've been giving him space and it's been 5 months or whatever. It's been however many weeks or months. I mean, at some point he needs to come back into the relationship. The whole point of him taking space is typically that he'll recharge, he'll charge his batteries, he'll come back and he'll be even better than ever. But what if he doesn't come back? What if he's just keeping you in limbo? Well, at that point, then what are you doing in this relationship? It's not even a relationship anymore. It's okay to give somebody a little space, maybe a week or 2. But if it's going on and on and on and he's just not there and you're just waiting around, then no, that's a no. Typically, even when a guy is taking space, I mean, he doesn't want to risk losing you. He's not just going to abandon you completely. He'll just be a little bit more withdrawn. He'll just kind of be a little bit more closed off. Maybe you won't be hearing from him as frequently, but he will still let you know that, yes, we are still in a relationship. We're still in this together. If he basically you don't hear from him at all, he's completely ignoring you, he pops up once in a blue moon, maybe wants to hang out, maybe wants to hook up, that's not even a relationship anymore. That's not taking space. That's him just basically going down a rung in the ladder in where you are in your relationship. So no, do not just sit around and just give him space forever. Give him a little bit of space, see what happens. If he's not coming back, then it's time to let him go. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you are stuck in this situation, you don't know what to do, your guy's taking space, maybe you want to dive into it a little bit more, into the particulars of your situation, then definitely set up a coaching session with me. I love doing them. I love connecting with you guys face to face. You can set it up at numo.com/coaching. And if you just want to understand men, if you want to understand men better than they understand themselves, like I do, men have told me this. They're like, Sabrina, you understand men better than men understand themselves. If you want to be just like that, then check out our He's Not That Complicated system. You can get it at understandhim.com. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at @newmode, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.